360 TV proudly presents Messages of Inspirational Stories, broadcasting and live streaming to millions of devices around the world, including Roku, and live streaming to Facebook Live. Also on Amazon Fire TV and to Twitch. Also Android TV and Periscope. Broadcasting to Apple TV and YouTube Live. Proudly brought to you by our host, Donna Guinois, producer and host, Michaela Vidal, host and administrator, and Jim Grant, producer and host. Proudly brought to you by the 6minutewebinar.com.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're so excited you're here joining us today. Messages of Inspirational Stories. So this time, Jim was backstage making me laugh, and it is all his fault.
Folks, we have fun on this show because humor and fun is something that you need an abundance of.
Yep.
We do.
Rinse and repeat. Lots of it.
Yeah. Soak it up, get soaked up to the gills in that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Donna, this week we've been talking a lot about stress.
Right.
Aggravation and frustration and all those things. But we started off on Monday with our good friend, Dr. George Grant. And I tell you what, his knowledge of how to set the cornerstone in your life for good health, because that sets the foundation, as you very well know, Donna, you've got a lot of experience in that. As far as your mental and your physical health, that's the cornerstone. And we just so honored to have him as our friend and to have him on the show with us and everything. It's just
Absolutely
wonderful.
Well, and I love how he talks about it. It's everybody has to look at their own self and really truly decide what is working, what isn't working. What works for one person, right, won't always work for another. So, whether it's losing weight, eating right, of course, there's always certain foods that we don't like. That doesn't mean you have to eat those foods, right? There's an awful lot of food out there to try. And, that's something I always did with my children. And I found as I got older, kind of the same thing was true with me. My folks grew up, been born and raised in Montana, and grew up with gardens, because that was pretty much the only way you ate well, was to grow your own food and can it, preserve it. Well, they loved asparagus. And when I was a little girl, of course, it was too expensive to buy it fresh way back in the day. So they'd buy canned asparagus. And I grew up at the table where you ate everything on your plate, period. Whether you liked it or not, you had to have a little bit. And I'm telling you, that canned asparagus was absolutely atrocious. I used to take a sip of milk, put in a piece of asparagus, take another sip of milk, and then I'd swallow the dadgum thing. Now, to this day, I can't stand canned asparagus, but I'll eat fresh asparagus all day long. Right? So even though I did that with my children, I took it in my own heart, my own personal journey, to go back and try things that didn't taste good 6 months ago, a year ago, however long it's been, because our taste buds change. Right? And so that's really important. That's really important to understand that, as you evolve, you grow, getting the foundation to your health is so important. And try new foods and new combinations.
Yes. And listen to your body, because one of the things that I cringe on, because I studied in the world of herbs and homeopathic cures for about 10 years, And it just makes me cringe when some respected guru on TV, I remember one saying that astaxanthin was the next, fountain of youth or whatever, and people just take his word as gospel. And astaxanthin is very good for you. Don't misunderstand me. But there's not one thing out there that's the fountain of youth. There's not one thing out there that can help you. Your body has a lot of different needs, and that's why you have such a huge variety of food that was created here by the creator of the universe, for goodness sakes. And I tell people, your body will let you know when you're doing good. Mm-hmm. And when I tell the story sometimes, and if you're listening to this and it's a repeat story, please bear with me because I enjoy telling it. It reminds me of Mr. X from 2 weeks ago. Yeah, please bear with me on this story. I enjoyed telling it. But my cholesterol kept climbing and kept getting up. And I reached a high the last time I checked it before I said, hey, this has got to come to a stop. I'm pushing a chain uphill here. I'm not winning. My cholesterol had got up, total count, 266. And at that time, I'm 73 now, so that happened when I was 56, I guess, somewhere in there. And so we just picked the Atkins diet. Just as okay, that sounds good, let's try it. A lot of people rave about the Atkins diet. A lot of people, complain about the Atkins diet. Right. It doesn't matter. Find something that works for you, okay? Right. And I remember one day I was having lunch, and I switched from sandwiches or burgers in my lunch to salads. And I never was a big salad eater. I just didn't have a taste for it. It was too bland or whatever. So by putting walnuts in it and cutting up pieces of apple and put some raisins in there and, making it more of a snack. Right. And what I realized one day after I had been on a diet for a while, maybe a month or so, and I had my salad for lunch. And then afterwards, not only did I feel, I was filled, and not only did I feel good, but I was ready to go to work. I didn't have that sluggish feeling. Right. The carb slug. Yeah. And I just, that was just normal feeling for me. So, I had never paid much attention to it, but I thought, wow, I feel good. My mind is clear. And I had energy and all that. Of course, if I would have known how important drinking a lot of water was then, I'd have probably been over the top. Right. But just like our TV show, OTT, over the top. That's what they call internet TV. And the reason why is because the old days, you know where OTT came from, over the top? No. Okay. This is a true story. I am not making this up. Back in the old days, before we had smart TVs and all that, people get a Roku box or something. They would set it on the top of the television set. Over the top. Over the top. That's where that phrase came from. It's stuck, and everybody that has an internet television show, we're on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Grandma's TV, all kind of TVs. But that's where that phrase come from. OTT, over the top. Yeah. Nice. And it's kind of like that deal where, like here in the States, a girl gets married, something new, something old, something borrowed, something blue, and all that. So over the top, they say, we got to take that with us. Well, and it's interesting. Everyone's journey for their health is so different and how it affects your energy and your stress levels. So when I was about 140 pounds overweight, so I lost about 100 pounds about 7-8 years ago. And then recently I dropped another 40 pounds. It is amazing to me, for me, how much better I feel at this weight I'm at, how less, having had arthritis since I was 9 years old. I've had 3 surgeries with it. So I think I've got 2 joints in my entire body that don't have arthritis in it. Bless your heart. But it's amazing to me that when I keep my weight down and balanced, how I am not, my body isn't stressed, Jim.
right? Because that extra weight for me stresses my body out.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Hmm.
Because as Dr. Grant pointed out, the gut, the brain, and the heart, they all three work in perfect harmony.
Right.
And I forgot to finish up my favorite story I like to tell, one of my favorite stories. But after I got on the diet, I weighed close to 180 pounds, which is not heavy, but it was heavy for me.
Right.
Your body will tell you, hey, I'm not feeling good.
Right.
And I dropped down to about 155. I didn't pick a number. I figured, well, I'm going to let my body pick the number.
Right.
And what I found is that as my weight dropped and I lost the belly fat, my cholesterol dropped too. It came down to 173 without
Wow.
any medication.
Wow.
And that's a huge step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So if you're suffering from cholesterol or something like that, you look at your diet and find something that works. And main thing is don't quit. And Donna, you said something here recently I'd never thought about. Because when people go on a diet, the advertising all like lose 30 pounds in 1 week.
Right. Oh, I know what you're going to say. I love it.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong on this, please, ma'am. But really what your body reacts like a child. The sky is falling. We're all going to die. The world's coming to an end. It's going to spin so fast, we'll all get slung out in space.
Right.
That's the way I'm being a little ridiculous there, but that's the way the body reacts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go on a drastic diet and you want to drop pounds daily, that is not good for you because the body's going to think, oh my gosh, we're starving to death. And that's why you hear people complain, I gained it all right back. Your body is hanging on to everything it can because your body's convinced it's starving to death.
Right.
Therefore, and I'm going to let you pick up on this here because you're better at this. Go ahead, please.
Well, just understand that when you are at a certain weight and you're eating at a certain level, that becomes your body's normal stress zone, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when you lose weight, if you lose more than it depends on the person, but honestly, unless you're, losing a huge amount of weight, probably 5 pounds a month is max, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's a gradual drop. When you lose too much weight, what happens is we tend to starve our body. And just like you said, what it does, instead of being in a fat burning mode, your body goes into a fat storage mode.
Survival mode. We're dying,
We're dying. This is the amount of carbs and intake we're used to. And now you've put me down to this. And so your body doesn't know how to handle it. When I lost that first 100 pounds, Jim, it took me 2 years. 2 years to get it all off because I did it really slow and very methodically. And I changed the way I ate. And one of the things for me was I ate way too much bread. Bread packed onto my hiney and my hips and my tummy and anywhere else it could find. So, I really backed down on the bread. And to this day, I still don't eat a ton of bread because that's an Achilles tendon for me.
I understand. Plus, it gave your body plenty of time to slowly adjust to the new you.
To the new norm.
Yeah. And so that is the starting point of getting rid of stress in your life.
Right.
And another great starting point of getting rid of stress in your life is get rid of toxic relationships and people. Yep.
I teach that in my coaching program. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, you know what, this doesn't serve me any longer. Whether it's somebody that you have been friends with forever, even family, if they do not fit in your integrity and in your energy world, you know what? It's going to bring you down and it's going to cause you more stress. And more stress in your body is exactly what you do not need.
Speaking of your course there at donnaguinois.com, I think I put the right, TV producer and host, Donna Guinois. Your website is donnaguinois.com. If someone wants to go there, and you'll be glad to offer them a free, I'll let you share with them what you'd like to offer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, if you want to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me either through the TV email or my business email, which is highenergyrightnow@gmail.com. And I will be happy to sit down and give you a half an hour of, just one-on-one time. I kind of don't like the word discovery so much, but more of a one-on-one to see if, I'm a good fit for you and you're a good fit for me.
Absolutely. And like I say, you can email us, email our TV show, inspiration@e360tv.com. And it comes into the central mailbox there, and our staff makes sure we get to it, and most importantly, get back with you. And I've got to mention out that one of our marketing partners is the 6minutewebinar.com. If you'd like to find your ideal client and be able to get your message across very clearly to your ideal client without all this jibber jabber, check out 6minutewebinar.com.
Can't go wrong with them.
We're also very honored to have the privilege to have chosen and worked with this charity. Our charity we sponsor is the sheltertosoldier.org. And I'll tell you how that came about. We had Mr. X on a couple of weeks ago with marketing relationships. And he called me one day and he says, Jim, I'd like to make a special offer to your audience. I says, okay. He says, what charity do you have? And so we've been thinking about from time to time about selecting a charity. And I says, I don't know. And I'm not going to mention the charity. It was on my mind, but it was not Shelter to Soldiers. So I just texted Donna right quick. And I told her, what was going on. And immediately she responded, Shelter to Soldier. And when she did, that's why us guys have these flat foreheads, as I've said before. I went, what did I think of that, Because it's the perfect charity for us. And Donna, I'm going to let you pick it up right there and tell them why.
Well, Shelter to Soldier is so beautiful, folks. They literally go into a shelter and rescue a dog that maybe would not have a chance otherwise. And they pick these dogs and they train them. And then the soldiers come, and there's several dogs going at once. They find the dog, and the dog finds them. That beautiful marriage, if you will. The aligning of the souls is how I like to see it. The aligning of the souls, and then that dog goes home with the soldier and will come to him. Now, Jim, you have been in the service for 31 years. How important is having that with PTSD?
Oh, my goodness gracious. It's extremely important because you can, with the dog that gives you unconditional love, that's by your side, truly dedicated to you and your life. You could sit there and you could talk to that dog, and you could have any conversation you want to one-on-one with that dog. And that dog's not going to get on social media or send an email to somebody, hey, you know what he was telling me or she was telling me, you don't have to worry about that nonsense. But, the thing I love is that these dogs, they're not purebred dogs. These dogs could be a crossbreed. They usually are mutts, Heinz 57 varieties, we used to call them. But they're able to pick these dogs and put them into training. And these dogs are homeless. They know they're in a place they don't want to be. Right. You've seen videos of dogs and you can see their sad eyes and all that. Think about if you just sponsor one dog. Right. You pay for that one dog to be removed from the kennel. It will not be put to sleep or from the shelter. And that dog will enter into a program that can help those soldiers out there. And the beauty of it is their track record, not one soldier has ever suffered or that's had PTSD or TBI, a traumatic brain injury. No one has committed suicide. Right. Tremendous track record. And, Donna, we also love this here because this opens up the mind, the vision.
Right.
Someone might say, hey, I've got a calling that I would love to do. And that calling is, I'd like to be able to start an organization or get involved with an organization, whatever, to be able to take dogs in and start a program and get them to people who suffer from depression,
Right.
people who are alone, because we're social creatures.
We are social creatures, and so
We
are
crave
dogs.
love. We crave love.
Right. They're a pack animal.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about that. You think about the people that you know of that suffer from depression, or people that suffer from loneliness, and you're able to, rescue an animal,
Right.
just one at a time. We're not talking about, truckloads of dogs or something. Just one dog at a time, changing one life at a time, and giving two lives, the dog and the person, a home that full of love. Think about that. Think about that for a moment. Think about how that would make you feel and what that would do for your stress level, knowing that you gave a gift of love from your heart with passion.
Right.
Folks, that's something money can't buy, and no thief can ever break in and steal from you. It's priceless.
It is.
It's priceless.
And it saves more than two lives, really, Jim.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
If you have a veteran who sadly commits suicide, it affects everybody's life within him. It affects his family. It affects his brothers and sisters in arms.
Everybody.
It's a ripple effect. It is a ripple effect.
When my son-in-law committed suicide, November the 16th, 2013, about a week before he called me, I was on the radio back then in those days. We were broadcasting, 5 days a week. And as far as started Your Future Is Now back in 2019. Yeah. Anyway, he called me, and I was about 10 minutes from going live on the radio. Live broadcast now. This is not some podcast recording. We go in and edit. And, okay, we got to take this out. We'll say this here. This is live, just like this TV show is live. And I told him, I says, I don't have time right now. Can we get together later? He says, okay, sure. That was the last words that I had with Mark before we got the phone call that he shot himself.
Oh, God.
And if you don't think that'll haunt you, ladies and gentlemen, it just, and it still bothers me. It will always bother me. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm glad it does bother me, because what kind of a person would I be deep down inside if it didn't bother me?
Absolutely.
And it's also a wake-up call for me to be there for someone else in their hour of need. That's our calling in life. It's not about money, fame, or fortune. That's nonsense. It's important for survival on planet Earth, not fame, but, money is, of course. But 100 years ago, money was not important to you, was it? We didn't exist. 100 years from now, how important will money be for you 100 years from now? But how about importance of love and abundance that the universe offers to all of us? That's why we were born, to enjoy that. Go ahead, Donna.
Well, that's the only thing we take with us in the end, is the love we've given and the love we receive. And that's what we take with us.
It's pure energy. That's what's creating the universe it's what created the universe, number one. Number two, it's why it's continued to expand, because everything is a vibration. And I was listening to, we had yesterday on Joel Peterson. And Joel, this is a nicety to know. Donna, I didn't get a chance to mention this to you. So if you'll sit there and be patient with me while I scroll down here through all these little things we got. There is a website called Whole Tones, Tones. Now, some time ago, we had a gentleman on, Tim Ringo. Tim is real big on music, and he's real big on, because in our bodies, this is the same thing the guy says there on that tape, we have a frequency inside of us.
Right.
And some people find it very, very soothing to be in a room and maybe have a fountain there with the water falling, and that be the only sound in that room.
Mm-hmm.
It can just let the stress flow right out of you. Some people like music.
Right.
It doesn't matter what your frequency is. What matters is that you invest time in yourself and research and find your frequency.
Right.
Because everyone has a frequency. We're all a vibration. Everything in the universe is a vibration. And, you know, it's amazing because you need time to get off to yourself. You need time to clear your mind. You need time to forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's important. I've known one person in my life that says, I don't think I can ever be forgiven because of all the bad things that I've done in my life. And I said, well, you know what? Adam and Eve killed the entire human race. And there was forgiveness for that. So, I mean, exactly what did you actually do? Did you go up and, you know, steal all the gold out of Fort Knox or something? I mean, you know, but I mean, we become convinced through the canyons of our mind. Our mind can be our worst enemy, can it, Donna?
It can. We become prisoners of our own self, of our own mind. And when you become a prisoner of your mind, that's when you go into full stress mode.
Oh, yeah. Your mind will run riot with you. And Donna loves this story, and I'm going to tell it. My wife was out in Tucson, Arizona. Her mother had suffered her second stroke. Her husband was already passed away. And so Evelyn's going to stay with her because her mother at that time was mid-80s, okay? Because she came to live with us for several years, and after we brought her home. And I told Evelyn, I said, Evelyn, I got to get back to Texas. I stay here with your mom because this is your mother. You've only got one. I'll be there, okay? You know where I'm going to be. And so you need to spend time with your mother. So I'm home alone. I live out in the country. And Donna's going to start smiling because she knows where I'm going with this.
I love this story.
About 2:30 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm woken up. Now I'm home alone. I live on 8.5 acres out in the country. And, you know, I hear this sound. My mind tells me someone is taking a knife and cutting the screen wire on that old storm door before we replaced all the doors and exterior doors and everything on the house. But prior to that, we hadn't. So it was an old aluminum screen type door, you know, storm doors, old fashioned things made in the 50s. And I'm thinking, this guy he either thinks no one's home or he's amped up on something. So I said, okay. And I'm scared. I'm not going to lie about it. You get woke up in the middle of the night and you think somebody, you got to make that smaller, go back in there and change it and click the little button on it. What'd you put up there? I got to read it. One of the, yeah, you're letting the cat out of the bag, girl. Anyway, I've got good night vision. So I go up the hallway and my heart's in my throat and it's pumping. And I make my way through the main room there into the kitchen and dining area. And I head back into the little, where the little washer and dryer is. It's not little, it's a little room where the washer and dryer is. And to the right is that door. And so I slowly unlock very quietly the deadbolt. I'm not running from anybody, okay? I may be scared, but I'm not going to run. It's one thing I learned about myself in Vietnam. I don't make a good coward. Maybe I'm too dumb. But anyway, I flick open the light, yank open the door, and I drop my weapon like that, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Nobody's there. And I know the noise is still there. So I look down, and here there are two armadillos there. One is actually taking its little claws and just screeching down that aluminum door. Now I'm mad. And I opened the door and bumped him. I said, get out of here, you little varmint. Now, I'm not going to go out there at 2:30 in the morning and start blowing armadillos away in my backyard because, you know, they don't bother me. I like seeing them, you know, but not at 2:30 in the morning scratching on my door like it. So the next morning, Evelyn called me and I told her about the story and just, oh, Jim, I bet they were cute. I got to be honest with you. The word cute did not enter my mind. It wasn't anywhere within my galaxy. Those little rascals scared me to death. And I went back to bed, and it took a little while for me to calm back down, let all that stress, because that's what your mind does. Your mind plays tricks on you.
It does.
And so many people use their head when they should be in their heart. And the head can only bring up one thing and one thing only, and that's the past. So if you're going forward in your life, why would you want to look at that little rear view mirror rather than look through the windshield of life? Because where you are right now is the perfect place for you, because this is not where you're going to stay.
Right.
This is the first step away as you head down your pathway of life into your journey. And you still got that too big. You got to click on that to edit it.
I'm trying to find the dadgum thing.
There's a little box there that says check, on the left. You'll see it. I'm going to make her do this because she's so techie. I love it. Click on it again to edit. And then there's a little box to the left. If you scroll, you might have to scroll up a little bit, see that little box before you hit. It's in between the where you type it in and where you hit save. There's a little box there. Well, you got to put your glasses on and act the age, girl.
I can't see nothing. I'm so dadgum blind. I got new sets of glasses coming in, 3 of them to be exact.
I better behave myself. I might be doing hard time after the show.
That's right. Partner in crime. I'll show you.
Yeah. Did you see it?
No.
Okay. Let me. When you click on edit, edit, and right underneath there, underneath the box where you type it in, you'll see scroll across bottom ticker, a little box there. Click that.
Hang on. There it is.
There you go. And then save it.
There we go.
And then pop it in.
There we go.
See, that's it.
There we go.
And ladies and gentlemen, sometimes on the air we do on-the-job training, and we were
right. And Donna puts her glasses on so she can see better.
And I put my hearing aids on so I can hear better.
I'm blind. He's deaf. We're good to go.
And I'm dumb. I'm deaf and dumb. She brings the good looks and the personality. But it's so important for us to understand that, our minds can only bring up the past.
Or whatever you feed it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right? Yeah. That's like that great story about the Indian grandfather who took his grandson out fishing and was going to teach him about life. And he says, inside of me, I have 2 wolves, a good wolf and a bad wolf, and they're at war with each other. And so the little boy, being a little kid, looked at his grandfather's chest and he's wondering about these. He's trying to visualize these 2 wolves. And he's kind of concerned because there's a good wolf in there fighting and a bad wolf in there fighting. One of them's going to kill the other,
Right.
So he asked his grandfather, he says, which one will win? And his grandfather says, the one you feed.
Right.
You think about that, and that's kind of like a checkup from the neck up, as Zig Ziglar would say.
Right.
But it's so true, because you got to get out of your head. You got to get into your heart. And the one gentleman that taught me a lot about that is Bill Heinrich.
Absolutely.
He is the author of The 7 Levels of Truth. That's his book there. Mr. Bill's picture is on the back. I guess I'm getting that in there good enough.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. And let's put up his website there. True Life Purpose Now. I know I got it in there somewhere. Might be better off we put these things.
He's just wanting to get rid of his I'm Scared of the Armadillo award.
That's right. That's right.
That's okay. It'll be back, Jim.
Yeah. TrueLifePurposeNow.com, because Bill, if you mentioned you saw it on the show or whatever, he'll be glad to give you a free 30-minute consultation. This is a no pitch zone.
Right.
That's a prerequisite for all of our marketing partners. No
right.
pitch zone.
Right. And when you do have to think about something that you're trying to do, I would encourage each and every one of you to put in, okay, so when I was losing 100 pounds, I didn't say to myself every day, Donna, you're still so fat. You're still fat. You're not losing any weight. It's not going quick enough. I never said that. I literally, folks, changed my paradigms.
Yes.
And my paradigms was my thought process, what went in. I changed what I ate. So I changed those paradigms. You have to put in your head, you know what? You didn't, this is what I said to myself, girl, you didn't gain 100 pounds overnight. I sure as heck ain't going to lose it overnight. It's going to take time to do it the right way. So give yourself patience and grace.
Give your body a chance to catch up to the same way, your same goal, because your body didn't know.
Right, because you're literally changing everything. When, for me, you know, I was overeating and I was eating some wrong foods. You were changing everything, and your body, it's going to take a while for it to really come around and say, oh, okay, this is our new norm.
Yeah.
Right? It's not going to do it in a week.
Yeah.
It's going to take, you know, a good month or two. And I just trekked on, and I lost the weight, and I've kept it on. I'm actually thinner now than I was 20 years ago.
That's amazing, because you give your body a chance to buy in on what you're trying to do.
Right.
And your body's going to realize, hey, I'm feeling good. And your body is, like I say, with the mind of a child, if you look at your body like that, you'll understand that you cannot snap your fingers and make your body understand and be in step with what you're doing. Right. And another thing, and I want to share this with you about stress. One of the problems I used to have, well, I still have it a little bit. In the morning when I get up, you know, I get up early and, put on my coffee and I pour my first glass of water and I'm drinking it while my coffee's percolating or dripping, as we do nowadays. But anyway, I make a list of things I want to get done because my mind is clear. The sun hasn't come up yet because I get up early. And for years, I'd look at that list and I would get upset at myself because I didn't get this done. I didn't get that done. I had this phone call. I had this interruption. I had that problem. Oh man, I think I got half the stuff done on this list.
Right.
Where in reality, I'm unnecessarily stressing myself out. I'm also unnecessarily beating myself up.
Right.
And rather than look at the list and say, be thankful for what I did get done. With all the interruptions, with all the things that popped up that I wasn't expecting, hey, at least I got that done. Reward yourself with joy and jubilee rather than look at all the things that you didn't get done. That's kind of like I say about the rose bush. Some people just stand there and look at the thorns and say, oh, boy, that would hurt, that pokey.
Right.
And other people get the chance to enjoy the beautiful rose. They might see a butterfly come up there and visit the rose or honeybee, or maybe even a little, hummingbird. We got a lot of hummingbirds this time of year. And it's, in other words, you're just robbing yourself of the true riches of life. And the other thing, Bill taught me this. We were live on the radio and I said, Bill, I just made a decision the other day. And he says, Jim, let me stop you right there. Okay. He says, don't ever make another decision. Making decisions is not good for you. Okay, we're live on the radio now. Okay,
right.
And okay, well, so I'm obviously want him to tell me the answer. He says, Jim, instead make options, and that way your options are flexible when things, as you're going forward with.
Gets in the way.
Yes, because once you make a decision, you've built a mental box.
Right.
And you got binders on your eyes, and you can't look east, you can't look west. You're just looking straight ahead. You're not looking behind you, and it's got to fit in the box. We got to make it fit in the box, and that just adds to opens the door for unnecessary stress.
Right, it does.
And I'm so glad he taught me that. And again, I go to truelifepurposenow.com, and Bill will give you a free 30-minute consultation. He talk to you about anything, and He'll explain a lot to you about what's going on by asking you questions. And again, there will be no sales pitches there at
No.
all because Bill is too busy to try to.
Right.
Goodness, he's got clients all over the world, and he schedules his calls, and he talks to people who want to talk to him on his schedule.
Right. Right.
That's what you can do too, because I think it's time now to start talking about a 2022, and don't set a New Year's resolution.
Set a New Year's revolution.
That's right. Come alive, thrive, because you're entitled to love yourself, love others, and enjoy the abundance of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And no one, and I mean no one, can stop you. I don't care if you don't have two coins in your pocket to rub together. You could be as poor as the poorest person on planet Earth. No one can rob you of the true riches of life. And you can find Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret, on YouTube. I know I mention that every day, but it's important for people to understand that Earl Nightingale with The Strangest Secret shares with you that as soon as you ask for what it is you want in the universe with love, I'm not talking about winning the lottery. That's physical, okay? You got to get out of the physical into the abundance of the universe. Once you do that, it's already yours.
Right.
Nobody can, I mean, not even a thief can break in and steal that from you. That's how precious that gift is. And I love it when he talks about the only thing we value here in life is the things money can buy.
Right.
We don't value our brains. You know, a lot of people don't appreciate, you know, their being, their very being, you know, their bodies, the health they've been given. I mean, it's just.
It's crazy because we don't think about that, Jim. And I'll tell you, we've talked about this before, but I think it's prudent in this conversation. When I was 49, that changed for me.
Yeah.
I had my first brain surgery.
Yeah.
And then I had my second one. I had my second one when I was 50 and July 27th of 2015. And my last one on January 13th of 2016. When I had that first brain surgery, all the way through to the third one, and in that time was also diagnosed with MS, it gave me a different way to look at life.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And I got out of the negative area I was in. That's how high energy performance coaching came to be, folks. But I am telling you, when you are face to face with something that deep, that hard, it changes your outlook.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so, you know, I do not stress a whole lot anymore. I don't. It is not worth it.
Let go of all the things that you cannot control.
Right.
And we say a lot on the air because we never get into politics or religion. But I mean, when you see junk on TV, vomiting evilness and wickedness and nonsense on society, or is someone making you watch that?
Well, and also, you know, understand that there's I've discussed this a little bit before. I keep up on current events. My husband and I talk about it. We both watch the current events. And when it gets too much for me, I simply shut him down and say, okay, babe, I'm done. I need a movie. I need something that I can watch that isn't in the here and now and it's not the negative. I need something that will make me laugh and bring lightness to my heart and my soul. And and that's important. But something else, when you are going through this and learning to deal with your stress, especially those of us who've had children, understand that when you change that paradigm in your life and those dynamics, that you're the ones who are watching like a sponge and soak everything you do up is your children, and they will benefit from you changing your stress level and your life. They are going to change by your example.
Oh yeah, that old saying of "Don't do as I do, do as I say."
Right.
That doesn't work.
Right.
And it's kind of funny. I get a kick out of looking at some of the things in history. Our dads, I was a kid in the 50s and an overly intelligent teenager in the 60s. At least I had thought I was anyway. Anyway,
Right.
but I don't know what it was about dads in society, but in that day and time, Donna, you probably heard this too, or probably, saw it or somewhere. Dads all thought alike. It's amazing how that works because, you could hear, like you can imagine a lady saying, Horace, Billy's over there. He's got a screwdriver and I think he might try to stick it into the wall receptacle. He's going to get hurt. Let him. He'll learn.
He won't do it twice.
Yeah. But that was dads. That's the way they were,
They
And
told you one time.
oh yeah.
One time. I know my dad did. And if you didn't listen, oh, holy moly.
Yeah, I tell you, dads were just, they always had that unique way of saying few words and you knew exactly what they meant and you didn't walk away scratching your head wondering,
Right.
what were they trying to tell me? I mean, because that's just the way it was. And when our kids were small, I went to the hardware store and I bought those little plastic things you stick into the wall receptacle because, you just that's just the way I was.
Right.
And that's the way a lot of people were during that day, back in the 70s. And people are like that today. We're very concerned about health. But one thing, Donna, I was talking about this the other day. Think about dogs in the, back when you were young as a kid. Dogs were important, sure. They were pets, yes. But you know what? Dogs have actually migrated along with us.
They have.
They have tuned into that love and abundance because you look at dogs today, you see all kind of cute little videos on dogs. And if you like cute puppies, oh my goodness.
Right.
On Facebook, there's a Facebook page called Cute Puppies, CUTEPUPPIES, Cute Puppies. And these little things look like stuffed toys, but they're real dogs. They're adorable.
They do. They are too cute.
Yeah.
We also watch one of funny cat antics.
Oh.
And that's, we bring a lot of humor in our life. And, we have 4 kittens. So we have a lot of antics at our house. And when I say the cats are jumping off the wall, I'm not joking. I've got one cat who'll bank the wall and keep running. And he's doing it at about 100 miles an hour. But it's absolutely hysterical. Thank you for changing that again, Jim. We're going to play Battle of the Banners, folks. But there's all kinds of ways.
Good help's hard to find. What can I say?
It really is. But it is so good to bring
Now I do something positive and she starts giggling at me. The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. Folks, please listen to that.
Yes.
I don't care if you're an atheist because it doesn't matter. Because you're entitled to love and you're entitled to the abundance of the universe. That's a promise from the universe. I mean, it's a universal promise. It's not limited to planet Earth. And if you like to go online and just Google that or do an internet search, you can actually get it in a PDF file because some people like to read, some people like to listen, some people like to watch.
It's whatever works for you.
Bingo. Absolutely. And I've got to also mention, we talked about Dr. Grant, the academyofwellness.com. He'll give you a free 30-minute evaluation. In other words, go to his website, fill that out. He'll get back with you. Right. And again, this is a it's a safe zone. It won't cost you a dime.
There's no upsell, folks.
You will learn a lot about your health. He will share with you and he'll make some great decisions now, or not decisions, but choices for you to make decisions on. He is a professor. He's got 3 doctor's degree. He has worked with the CDC, the Center for Disease Control in the United States. He's worked with the Canadian Board of Health, So the man's no joke.
Right.
And he is well respected throughout the medical community. We're talking about we're not talking about just common, average, regular medical doctors. We're talking about the medical community. He's a best-selling author, and he is an icon in the industry. And
Well,
he's humble.
Oh, that's just it. What I love about him is when you talk to George, guess what? He just talks in everyday language.
Right.
He doesn't try and go, well, got 3 doctorate degrees, so I'm going to use these words that are longer than my last name, folks.
Yeah.
Right. So he's just, he talks in plain ways that you and I can understand.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you something, folks. He's got a riddle there. Zinc for the dink, zinc when you think, and go on and go for it. I never got past that one there because the zinc for the
dink. He was down for the count, folks.
Yeah, I was. And that was a left hook that I did not see coming. And I was down for the count. But that gives you a good, clear picture of the type of person that he is.
Right.
Because if you're dealing with stress, the first thing you got to do is make sure your body is in perfect harmony. Your gut, your heart, and your brain.
Right.
Those are the 3 things that's working together. It's more signals going from your gut to your brain than from your brain to your gut.
Right.
And that's what keeps you breathing at night.
Well, and good health actually starts in your gut. That's where it all stems from.
Yes,
right?
It does.
So
yes,
you need
it does.
Probiotics. You need good fiber. You need all those good things that if you're not getting enough of, it's out there to get, folks. I've been had my own health and wellness business for 17 years. So I'm pretty well versed in what is help needed for our bodies to be better. And because if you do not invest in your health now and get rid of your stress now, you think it's expensive today. Folks, when you're 80, it's going to be outrageously expensive.
What'd you say?
Huh?
That's so true. And, the thing too, when it comes to stress right now, just let go of everything that you're not in control of.
Right.
If someone has an opinion about me, that's fine.
It's not my business. I don't care.
Yeah, because I think it was earlier in the week, I used the example, if a flock of geese are flying overhead and the hunter's down there and he's in the tall grass and all of that, he fires a couple of shots and doesn't hit any of the geese continue going on.
Right.
You won't see them stop, turn around and say, hey, what are you shooting at me for? I didn't do anything to you,
Right. They just keep going.
Yeah, because it's beyond their control and, they just let it go. And that's what we need to do. That's exactly what we need to do, right? I remember it's been many years now. About 20-something years ago, we were in the middle of a drought for 2 years. And I had this back when I was running a manufacturing manufacturing plant, and they had a problem. Got 2 P's there trying to get them both out at the same time. And
can't be well today.
That's right. And I remember I got up one morning, it was before dark 30. I mean, the sun hadn't come up, and I'm out there on the back, and I'm thinking about my problem. I made up my mind I'm going to deal with it for 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to let this thing eat me up all day. And just go ahead and enjoy yourself, John. I'll take a break place. I'll go in. And so I'm drinking my coffee, and all of a sudden a thought came to my mind, a clear thought. And it says, do you hear the birds? And I stopped and listened, and the morning birds are so beautiful, and they're singing their little songs. And as I listened to them, the next thought that came to my mind was that even they will sing in the middle of a drought.
Right.
And that really brought me down to grassroots. I had one guy says, you heard a voice? No. It wasn't a voice. It was just a crystal clear thought in my mind.
Right.
Because, Donna, if it had been a voice, that voice would have went something like this. Hey, Moron. Yeah, that's JC. Me and Big Daddy, we need to talk to you, buddy. So did you come back for air? Did you got all your snot done for the day?
Sorry.
I don't enjoy yourself, because that laughing and snorting is good for you. Yeah. It's amazing how humor is so good for the body. And the thing you got to do is find ways to laugh at yourself. I mean, I laugh at myself all the time. Sometimes this has been throughout my throughout having kids. Even to this day, sometimes Elvin will be visiting with Lisa and James, and they'll be in there and they'll be talking, and I'll leave them alone because they enjoy that. They all always enjoyed that. I figure, well, they know my name. If they want me in there, they'll call me or whatever. And every single time I walk into the room, they'll stop talking, look at each other, and they'll start laughing.
Right.
And I know they're laughing at something, intelligent that I did. So I just said, hey, go ahead and light up in the big laugh. Enjoy yourself. I don't care. Because I've done a lot of dumb things in my life, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I never really did anything bad or, never did anything that hurt anybody. But I'll admit it. A few times going down the road of the pathway of life, I missed a couple of curves I should have made,
Right. Well, and that's living. But, that's a beautiful thing, Jim, is understanding that, folks, stress should be in your rear view mirror.
Oh, yeah.
So our rear view mirrors are about this big, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're small for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And your windshield is your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you can see the whole big picture of what's ahead of you.
And most importantly, please forgive yourself.
Oh, give yourself grace.
Oh, yeah. Just say, hey, I'm human. I made a mistake. I opened my big mouth. I said something I shouldn't have said. I threw something I shouldn't have thrown,
Right.
And I wish I hit him harder when I threw it. Oh, I mean, that's a subconscious thought there. That's one of them subliminal messages. No, but really, my point is forgive yourself. Have the courage to say, I made a mistake. I was wrong. I feel bad about it. But be thankful that you feel bad about it, because what kind of a person would you be if you did not feel bad about it?
Exactly.
That's when, that's when they need to come and get you and put you, one of those white jackets with the long sleeves that buckle in the back, take you straight to the nut farm.
Right. Separates the wheat from the chaff.
Mm-hmm. It sure does. Absolutely. And it also, once you admit your faults, and if you did, said something to someone or did something and it upset them, just go to them and just say, listen, I made a mistake. It's bothered me. I'm sorry I said this, or I'm sorry I did this, or whatever the case might be. And if their attitude is, well, no, I can't forgive you for that. Okay, fine. Let it go. It's their problem now.
Right.
You've done everything you possibly could do to alleviate this problem. Let it go.
Yep.
Love yourself, live in abundance of joy and jubilee, because you're entitled to that. And that's a universal promise.
Let go and let love.
Oh, yeah. Because some people, the only way that they want to be miserable, but they want you to be miserable with them.
Right. Well, my mom and dad always used to say that. They'd say, sweetheart, just remember, misery always loves company.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I like what old Zig Ziglar said one time. He says, if you know somebody, like this, I'm going to use this lady over here as an example. She don't mind, and I don't think she will. If she does, she'll forgive me. And he actually said this. He said, if she's got all these problems and she's complaining, you better not solve her problems. She's going to be mad at you.
Right.
Because she's not going to be able to go over and tell you, and you people back there what her problems are, because you solved it.
Right.
And that's the way some people are. They want to cling on to the old feelings of hate and misery, because that's what it is. It's hate. Mm-hmm. Even jealousy is a form of hatred.
It's also fear, too.
Oh, yeah. Everything falls under either fear or love. So you can either live in the physical, which is limited to planet Earth. It cannot exist on Mars, Jupiter, or anywhere else in the Milky Way, or any of the other galaxies out there. But love is vibrating all around you. You got a vibration of love inside of you. Tune in, find some good music, soothing music that's comforting to you, calms you down. If it's whatever sound there is, be sure you take some quiet time for yourself. Tune into that, because you need to unwind. You need to relax.
Unstress.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And Folks, I tell you, we've really enjoyed this. And, remember what we said about the dogs, because that unconditional love, that's something money can't buy.
Nope.
And dogs, you got to ask yourself, if there was no creator or anything like that, how did dogs get the capacity to love?
Right. So loyally.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember one time on the show you cracked up, we were talking about Sergeant Stubby, and I was trying to make a point of, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter, what your social status is. It doesn't matter if you're fat, skinny. And I said, you could be as ugly as a box of rocks, and a dog's going to love you unconditionally. And it's true. They look at you. They don't look at your social status or your bank account. That means nothing to them, because it's all physical. It has no value.
Right.
They look at you with that unconditional love.
Absolutely.
And you love them back, and it's a win-win situation. And dogs are really involved. Look how boy, I tell you, they're like people. I got a kick out of this one cartoon showing this dog. It's same dog, four different scenes. Oh boy, the ocean. He's out there splashing around. And then the next one was, oh boy, a river here. He's in there swimming. He goes to a creek. Oh boy, a creek. Yippee. He's happy, happy, happy. Then you take him in the house, try to put him in the bathtub. Are you kidding me?
Right? Yeah. Yeah. My dog has to go in the shower with me because he's too dadgum big.
Oh, yeah. Donna, we're way over time. We better wrap this thing up.
We are so excited that you joined us today, and want to thank each and every one of you. And, we really hope that we reached out and touched one person who needed to hear what we have to say.
Amen to that.
And, we'll be back tomorrow with more on wrapping up the week on stress. And we want you to, Jim, what is it you always say about loving yourself?
Oh, love yourself first, and you can love others. And most importantly, just, be you, the real you. Let all of your failures in life remain in the rearview mirror of life, because as you look forward, you've got a brand new future ahead of you.
Yeah. Live
life to the fullest. And most importantly, behave.
Silly. Folks, we will see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Have a blessed evening.
Hey, you bet. We'll be back. Bye-bye.